Morning. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage on your side, your wisdom guided oracle, and we are having coffee. Do what you love what you do. Turn up the love. Life is good. We can never have too much love. In this world, in our lives, love is the most powerful energy out there. So there's never a downside to offering love, sharing love. I had some technical things going on this morning, so I haven't pulled any cards, just received the information about what this reading is about um, from the guides, angels, companions. And it really has to do with some work I was doing with my lovely friend Maggie in Ireland yesterday about soul fragments and what those are. And I honestly have no idea what the guides want you to know about that and what the information coming across is. I know what I've been given about soul fragments and what that can be, and what that can look like. I'm going to have a sip of coffee. It's been a few minutes. I've been working to get this set up. Mercury is back in retrograde, so that can play havoc just a little bit with our technology. How are you all doing? How are you coping? What is it that is plaguing you, causing you some concern, creating upheaval within you? Whatever it is for you to examine and understand what is present that is working to come through so it can be released, so you can receive more of your guided information and become more of what you wanted to be in this lifetime. How we perceive what's going on in our lives is a very interesting process. And I always perceive it as what is here for me to grow with. What do I need to work on here? What layer is this of this specific thing that is showing up for me? And the first card that came up was Shakti, Ecstatic Union. And we're talking about soul fragments today. So that's an interesting, well, it actually very much an aligned first card that comes up, because calling back our soul fragments is huge, because we are reunited then with these pieces that have gone missing from us. Soul fragments can be lost during traumatic events, past lives specifically, because we came into this life without whichever soul fragments we left behind, however many. And then, of course, there's certainly this life where we have experienced different traumas, some way more severe. Good morning, Diane, than others. And so what we want to find out is, are we missing soul fragments? And here's the ecstatic union is about, as we gather them back to us, our understanding expands of who we really are, what we came to do, what we get to do here, and how we can enact what it is that our soul wanted to bring into this specific lifetime. And this is specifically about not just our own awakening, but this will certainly create more of an awakening quickness in your life. You'll begin to have more clarity, more understanding, because what soul fragments being gone look like for us is a continual cycle of the same thing coming up, even though it went into layers. So here's what this looked like recently for me. And some of you caught that energy on me, I guess would have been Monday before we left for our camping trip, when I was really in a very heavy place with some of the energies that had appeared to me, that I had been given insights on earlier in the year and didn't really understand. But I have learned never to go, well, that's just not true for me. No, that's not my truth. I did the, really? Gosh, I never thought I would have held this resentment energy. I don't feel like a person who has a lot of resentment, but I put it in for percolation, and worked on it at one point, because what I was told is it was really stuck in this left low back hip region causing pain and dysfunction for years. And I went, okay, well, maybe I don't know that it's not true, but I'll put that in my hat here. And so the Monday, I think, or maybe even Sunday, before I came on, it came up huge. The volume of resentment I was holding. Great morning to you too, Susan. And so I mean, it was just like, oh my gosh. And I don't honestly, well, I guess I did at that point when I got done trying to do this meditation where I was trying to pull up these positive energies and really couldn't pull up any or hardly any, which is not the norm for me. I realized that there was a huge amount of resentment in this certain process of working to transmute energy that had been presented to me so that I could live in greater joy, peace, ease, fun, all of that. And realized I'd been doing that my whole life and not just this lifetime. So when I went to work on it, I mean, because all of these, well, when I went to work on it and we went up into the mountains, the understanding that came was there was this encapsulating energy, and it was the energy of the slave. And it was like, oh my gosh, I'd never really seen that before. But in that slave energy were all these other energies that I had been working on layers to clear. It was like, that's why they could not completely leave. And so I did a great deal of work there. And then my lovely friend in Ireland, we were talking yesterday about soul fragments and realizing that I had left 3 where we were talking about in Ireland in a past life. And so started working on those. But what happens then is we are far more powerful and effective in areas we'd not been powerful and effective in before. And that is why it becomes an ecstatic union, because we get to stand more fully in our power when we are in more wholeness. The next card that came up is the World. And that is, excuse me, an incredibly lovely, powerful, beautiful card. And I'm going to read that definition from this book, because each one that you get is a different take. XXI. I think it's the last major arcana card. It is. The great mother Gaia is the earth and all power of the earth, the very soul of this planet. The skies and seas and all creatures of this world come from her womb. Originally an ancient Greek goddess, she was born from chaos into beauty and wholeness. And that is what happens when you recall soul fragments. There becomes less chaos, more wholeness and fullness. The earth goddess as mother reminds you that all life is kin, animal, flora, and human. She offers harvest, abundance, and fulfillment. So the 2 of these cards together, the ecstatic union, brings you back into this is, this specific world card. Although we are always in union with the plants and the animals and the rocks and the water, we are not separate, nor do we lord over them. We were given dominion and we need to return to using it wisely. But this is more about that fullness that comes to play when you call back your soul fragments and you become more whole. The Ancient Stones Oracle, scrying, trust your visions in intuition and plant seeds. So if this idea of missing soul fragments kind of hits you in the chest and you go, whoa, that kind of resonates with me, or that seems like it could really be something that is my next step, own it, bring it in and percolate it. Is there someone I need to help me recall these soul fragments? Can I do this on my own? What do I need to know about this in order to have this brought back to me and incorporated in for my fullest next step in the journey? The Sacred Forest card or deck came up today as well. Enlightenment, the forest temple. This is what you are working, walking, living towards, is greater enlightenment about what the past has been for you, what energies you brought in, what energies for um, your ancestors that you brought in to heal in this lifetime, because we agreed to this incredibly powerful lifetime of healing for not just ourselves, but our ancestral lineage as well. And all of this time for us, especially light workers, I mean, it's not that others aren't suffering, it is that it is weighty what we're doing. And so we've had things throughout our lives that have created some great heaviness in our souls, in our very beings. And just because you don't feel like I'm not all that religious or spiritual, or I don't really get that, does not mean that you are not a light worker here doing work for all of your ancestry and yourself. It means you have a different level of involvement in your soul's bringing back together of itself. There is no higher, lower, better than aspect in our enlightenment, in our journey, in our way showingness. You are a light in this world. If you watch anything like this, if anything, draws you into this kind of realm, you're a light worker here that wants to expand, unfold, and grow more fully into the truth and the strength and the power that you have available. But when we're fractured, which is how we are, when soul fragments are missing, we are not nearly as powerful because we are constantly pulled into the not enoughness, the something's missing. I don't have what it takes. Everybody else has got something more than I do. I never, there's all kinds of injuries that come in for focus when we are missing soul fragments. And those of us who came in to work this lifetime and chose this lifetime to come in, which is a very big one, a big shift lifetime, we have a reason we came, way more than just for ourselves. And so we want to heal the aspects that are hidden from us. There's obstacles, find another road, flexibility, change. And that's what happens when we have missing soul fragments. It's one obstacle after another. It is, God, I just keep seeming to knock up against. A lot of times it's the same energy, the same belief systems, the same thing over and over. And it's really time that we really go to work at the depths of, all right, I need all of me for this job. I need to call back. I choose to call back the soul fragments. If you don't know what that looks like, reach out. Let's schedule a session. We can start with just a 15-minute call, that free call to go, okay, are we a good fit here? Can we work together? If I've worked with you before, please don't call for the free 15-minute call, because we already know that we can work together. But if you have never worked with me, I urge you to consider, what is it that we want to do together? The holy mountain, soul calling, sacred journey, a pilgrimage. And this is what you are doing in this lifetime. This is what we are all doing. But we are doing it for the greater humanity, not just ourselves. We are doing it for our ancestors. We are doing it for this world at large. And, regardless of what people have done in this life, and some of you have suffered some horrendous instances in your life. And it certainly could cause you to question a higher power. When you understand yourself as a soul interacting with other souls, and likely more than one time through the ages, and you understand that you are the creator and designer of this life for what you needed, along with the others that have been part, you can then step forward with a, oh my God, yes, this has hurt so bad, but I'm going to choose to receive how this has produced some growth, some healing, or some understanding of where healing needs to happen and why. what it is that my part in this is, and why did I bring this into my field? You are then standing in your power, and it does make the pain diminish some. There are some pains, my focus, I'm guessing I've lost children. I know I've lost children in past lives. For me, that is the ultimate pain in our life. And so those of you who have lost children, I don't believe that in this lifetime the pain will ever stop. I do know it lessens from those mothers who have told me that it kind of gets just buried deeper. It's not as sharp. And the more you heal your soul and work this journey in this lifetime, the less sharp that pain is, because you have a greater understanding of, certainly you're going to meet up with that soul again, because you have a life review to do together. How did this go for us? What did you glean from it? What did I glean from it? Is there more that we need to do? Those times of childhood, of children loss, definitely soul fragments were lost. Parts of your soul were torn from you, because that is the nature of losing that child. And so, specifically, if you are someone who has lost a child, you definitely want to work about with the soul fragment aspect. You want to pull back to you those pieces of your soul that got removed, and you will likely have more from past lives. So ask, I'm open, I'm willing, I'm ready, guide me. The easiest way you can walk through your life right now. Ask what that looks like for you moving forward. The last card coming up today from the sacred goddess is illumination. This will help you understand if what we're discussing here um, resonates in your soul. That's all you need, because you will know then that, oh, there is something lost here. And it is time for me to come forward with that and really understand what healing needs to be done, how moving forward is going to fulfill my destiny, what I wanted to do here, and my own personal healing. You are not a slave anymore to these energies. You light workers, many of you have felt as though you've had such pain throughout lifetimes and so much fear in this lifetime, because you have suffered before for your gifts, your abilities, your talents. And that was one where soul fragments came from me in that lifetime I was telling you about in Ireland. Um, and it was a lifetime of great service, and it cost. And so we tend to pull back from telling people who we are in this lifetime. And even if you're not meant to do this kind of thing, you may have the block that says, yeah, I'm really nothing. I don't have these abilities. I've got a retreat coming up, and that has had this kind of block in front of it that is waning now. But when I brought the idea up to someone who'd been interested before, this was such an interesting thing. And truly, I wasn't sure that she was actually telling me the truth, or if she was using calling it an excuse. I think it was more of an excuse, because she's expressed that, oh, I wish I could, but the last two. And she said to me, oh, I don't think I'm godly enough. I mean, it was just like, I went, what? We don't have to be a certain way to be working our truth. The retreats are an incredibly intensive way to move forward, to shed baggage, to step into the fullness of our path here. And if you know there is more to you, and if you've been struggling in your you-ness, I urge you to consider this upcoming retreat, September 12th through the 16th. It's just a 4-day, so it will be intensive. It will be fun. It will be enlightening. It will be amazing. So I urge you to consider that if you are ready to really awaken to your power in this lifetime, to stop being under the circumstances, to shed the victim consciousness that has taken hold, whatever it looks like for you. Good morning to you, Francesca. Consider the upcoming retreat. I will put the link in the Facebook part here in the first comment. It probably won't come out in YouTube, but I will place it there in the description when it's done uploading. I think we are complete for this beautiful Friday. These next few days are so powerful. I would urge you to consider forward movement with what do I want this life to resonate with? What do I want to be in this world? How do I want to move forward? Do I want to continue this cycle of disempowerment? How can I create more of what I desire in this life and less of what I don't? If you are held in the victim energy, that is very much a slave energy that you want to release, because it will allow less and less of the blocks. Good morning to Patsy. It'll allow less and less of the blocks to stand in your way. For some of you, that's been a really difficult road here this lifetime. It's time to be done with that. It's time to stand in your power. It is time to open up truly with who you are in the world. That retreat in September can absolutely do that. So can working with me on a one-on-one basis. But if you want an intensive with so many different aspects coming in to root out, pull up, show you what is really standing in your way, that 4-day retreat is going to be amazing. I think we are complete here. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage on your side, your wisdom guided oracle. Until we meet again.